Well, hello world. Hello dog. Welcome to episode 10 of my Rostock Max V2 build. When last I left you, episode 9, I did a bad thing. I had accidentally ran PLA filament while using ABS settings, tried to print the fan shroud, which was the first test print for the Rostock Max. The fan shroud goes up in here to keep the peak cold. You need to use ABS because that shroud, like I just said, sits in here. And if you use PLA, the PLA just gets too soft from the heat, from the ambient heat in the area. So I started my print, but I failed to properly read the label, and I just assumed that I had the right material. I had ordered silver ABS, but unfortunately I was shipped silver PLA, and I just went and used it, and partway through my print job, everything went bad and it jammed, and I eventually ended up having to drill out the plug that was the plug of a PLA that had built up in there, and ended up destroying the fitting. And that fitting does, of course, go sit up top where the Bowden tube sits into the fitting. So yeah, I damaged the fitting. Since then, I got a couple of new lights, new desk lamps, and just today, my new fitting has arrived. So let me show you what I've been waiting a week for. There's the fitting in all its glory. So I'm just going to take this fitting up here, put it in there, screw it in, just try and get a finger tight, take the Bowden tube, push the Bowden tube in, and we're done. Oops, I wasn't even paying attention there with the camera. And that's it. We're done. We're fixed. We're up and running. That's all I needed to do. Okay, I'm actually going to take my machine through its full calibration again, because like I said, I've been working up here and pulling and hauling and swearing. So I'm going to recalibrate the entire thing, and then we'll rejoin in on that first print again. Be right back. Well, I'm just a little bit surprised at the size of this readjustment, minus 0.2 millimeters. And I'm not quite there yet. I need to go one more click. There we go. That's what I want right there. And that's minus 21. Jeez. So I'm going to keep going. And I'm ready to go. Filament is loaded. Everything is calibrated. Boy, it took me a long time to calibrate. So we're just going to have a look at the label on the material I'm using. CMECNC.com, ABS, 1.75 millimeter grape. That says ABS, right? I'm not... Yes? ABS? Yes? Okay. Let's go over here and have a quick look to make sure I'm not screwing something else up. Advanced controls. Material, ABS purple. Quality standard. You'll note my diameter is 1.7. I actually took 8 measurements over about 3 meters. And I had significant measurements in like the 1.64 about the 1.67. So yeah. So all that's left is for me to press. Okay, so according to the documentation, now that you've gotten everything loaded and prepped, starting the print is as simple as pressing on the start button. So let's go to my matter control. Where'd you go? Seem to have multiple windows open. Well, that's why maybe it was screwing up. So okay, I don't see a start button. I got a print button. So Matter Control came out with a new updated version. I think it was yesterday or the day before maybe. And yeah, so things are already different from the documentation that he just updated, poor guy. Alright, no more messing, no more fussing. Let's press play. What? Okay, it's slicing it. It's finished slicing it. Okay, so I got my layer view up there. Print time 1 hour 5 minutes. Filament length just over 3 meters. Filament volume, estimated weight 8.5 grams. Okay, so this is my first print, the second time, with my brand new Rostock Max version 2. Very large Delta shape printer, which is relatively inexpensive because everything is made in-house and it's very good. So this is going to kick up to 80 degrees. I have ABS filament. I'm using the right settings. I really hope I haven't screwed something else up. I had to wait over a week for my fitting to arrive because it was just shipped regular mail. So it took a little longer, and I tell you. Yeah, okay. Be back in a mo. Well, I'm getting close to target temps, which means it should be kicking up soon. I found the layer view in matter control, so I'm hoping this shows me the same thing that Repetier host did and shows me just how it's building. But, oh, we have movement. I didn't hear any beeping though. Jeez, look at that thing go. And I got no filament coming out. Well, you're just doing everything to piss me off, aren't you? Okay, so now the filament's coming out, and it's a very strange color. What the hell? No, that's not the filament. Yeah, it is. Okay, so that first layer had a problem. It didn't do any boundaries, or that is the boundary. Okay, that was the boundary that screwed up and came out. Oh, it's just the angle that made it look that color. No, that's, what the hell? Was there some silver somehow in there? I extruded quite a bit. Okay, no, it did the boundary, and it started doing a good line before I got to the end of the boundary, so that's good. Sorry, am I even pointing my camera in the right direction? Okay, so we got some stuff happening there. Alright, well, I may as well kill this. You can't really see what's going on, so I'll be back in a moment. Sorry, I'm going to try and just get this steady here. So, what do you think? Any of you experienced people out there watching this? Is this a good print so far? Or no? Or is there just no focus? I don't know, is the camera picking up that crackling sound? It happens every now and then. It was doing it a lot on the first layer. So I'm guessing when I fed the filament in, even though it looked purple to me, it wasn't, I still didn't even feed enough, because if we look at that boundary line, it's clearly silver. So, and this purple is definitely much brighter purple than, but I don't know, I just thought it was because such as a thin line, but I kind of like this purple a lot. I wasn't sure I was going to like it, but you know what? I like it. It's a dark purple, and it's kind of a lavender, really. Okay, I'm going to go now. So I'm pretty much at the point where it gave up last time because of the mix-up. So this is the piece that I made before. I don't know how well you can actually see that. And that's the one we're building now, and you can see that I'm already winning. We're already doing a lot better than last time. I'm just trying to get a good... How's that? It's a good print, isn't it? I think it's doing pretty good. I don't see any problems. I really don't. I mean, everything that I can see through my camera here looks like it's a really good print so far. Well, there might be a little bit right there. Maybe a little bit on the overhang there. Well, that's what came out before. I think it's doing pretty good. Let's see. 27 minutes into it, so almost halfway. Focus! Okay, I can't focus with that. What the hell? Why? It's not focusing at all. There we go. Alright, back in a mo. Okay, we're getting up to the big overhangs now. There's an interesting little things hanging down there. They can't be good. Otherwise, things do seem okay. It's weird. Sorry for that. That was just... I forgot I'm all zoomed in. Oh, it's just not even trying to focus. Little drops there, I guess. Seems to be doing good though. One there, probably just fine. Jeez, that thing moves fast, eh? When it decides to. Alright, be back in a moment. What is that button? Oh no, okay. Okay, we're 58 minutes and 30 seconds into a 1 hour and 5 minute print. I suppose I got too much light now, don't I? I think it's doing very well. There is those little things that came down there. We'll take a closer look at them later. Those are weird, but not entirely unexpected, I guess. It is kind of printing in thin air at that particular layer. You can see a little bit on the left side there as well. There's those little ribbons hanging down, but I'm sure that's perfectly acceptable. You have no idea how excited I am. Okay, we just passed the 1 minute mark. 5 minutes and 25 seconds to go. Let me zoom out here before I do that. Okay, back in a moment. According to the time on screen, it is 1 minute, 1 hour and 5 minutes now. So there's 25 seconds remaining in its estimate, and we have in fact started the beginning of the top layers. So there's only a few more layers to go. So the estimate seems to be pretty close. And estimate time is now 1 hour, 5 minutes, 26 seconds, 27. Focus. Thank you. What just happened over there? What just happened over there? Oh, sorry, hang on, something weird happened over here. Oh, the screen didn't. Wasn't expecting that. Okay, so we are getting there, but oh, you know what? I'm calling it right now. No, I'm not. I'm not that stupid. Jinx myself. It's doing good though. I am actually very happy with it. Look at it. We'll discuss its finer points in a bit. So what am I doing after this? Well, after this I'm going to follow the manual and hook in the fan. This is actually going to hold a fan. Well, I'm going to take it off and tell you more about it. But it's to cool this, what's called the peak section. It's a ceramic bit right inside there. You can see that it looks like with the heatsink on it. So that has a melting temperature of something like, I think it was like 248 degrees. It's the reason why you can't actually print nylon with this stock hot end. You kind of want to upgrade to the all-metal hot end by an add-on, which is fine. I do want to get into the nylons because some of the robot bases, tracks, when I get into the slightly bigger bots that I need to build or just want to build. Yeah. Okay, the other thing I want to say is that this is just freaking cool. 3D printing, man. I've been a hobbyist for, well, over 20 years. Starting off with just, static plastic models. Starship Enterprise, a couple of shuttles, and a couple of different versions of the Enterprise. My favorite model, though, back then was in fact my DS9 space station. Oh, I love that thing. There it goes, filling in the top. So we're just coming up on 1 hour, 8 minutes, and 30 seconds. Seems to be a little bit, many more layers than I was just thinking. So that's, you know, what do I know? So, what do I think of this matter? Oh, you know what, you guys, nobody's watching this anyways. I'll be back in a minute. So, the temperature. And I've noticed that the nozzle temperature has been well above 230 almost all the time. So, now, once I install this peak fan and get it all wired in and everything, you have to rerun the PID auto tune anyway, so I'm not going to worry about it just yet. See, now it's all the way up to 235 again. This is where it really spends most of its time. And the bed could be just, the bed seems to always run just slightly under. You know, if it's going to not be 80, it's going to be under 80. Whereas the nozzle is always, you know, it's 230s. Good frame rate, but not a good temperature. Whoa, that's not good focus. Okay, how are we doing? Looks like we still got quite a few layers to go, maybe, because it is closing in the top, but it's still got a long ways to go. I really don't know how well that's going to come out. One minute, 11, 1 hour, 11. I can't even. Yeah, whatever. One hour and 12 minutes. No. Okay, how we doing? Still going. It's got to be almost over. Okay, so finally paying attention to what's going on, I actually looked at the model, and yeah, it's actually got a long ways to go. We're just getting to the interesting bit there, the upper bridges. Well, it's not really a bridge, but... And starting to see just a little bit of stringing there on the ends. Well, I am. You can't see anything because there's no focus. You, up front, focus. But you can see the tips there, I guess, now, maybe. They're getting a little bit fuzzy. See? I'm trying to get something to focus here. Oops, that was the wrong way. There. I'm sorry I can't point directly at it, otherwise I just go right out of focus. Okay, so it just did this neat little bit about printing in midair again, but I was too busy staring at it to get my camera up and record it. Okay, so What's it look like? I think those are, I was worried, I was just, because it didn't look like it was going to be good. Because it just didn't look like it was happening. Because you saw the fuzzies on the ends of those arches before I stopped. And yeah, but look at it now. I mean, I really did get worried there for a moment, for a few moments, that it was doing bad things. So I don't even know what happened to those fuzzies. They sort of got built right into that bridge somehow. And it ended up making that bridge look really good. Okay, that was a new pattern it just did there. So maybe that means we're actually getting near the top layers. Oops. Jeez, this thing is cool. Yeah, those don't look entirely thick in the diagram or the model. Oh, geez, that's cool. Are those little mini triangles it just made back there? See, that's the thing about this slicer. It doesn't do the octagons. Why can't I get focus on this side? Alright, well. Oh! It's finished! It homed. I hear no music though. I wanted a song. How come it didn't sing me a song? I'm sad. So, the nozzle's been turned off, the bed's been turned off. It finished in 1 minute, 1 hour, 21 minutes and 20 seconds based on a 1 hour and 5 minute, 25 second estimate. And that's that. Let's put my finger down there and see how big it is. And feel it. Okay, so I think before I go any further, I'm gonna ow. Is it supposed to be like that? Yeah. So that's Camford corner. So that's supposed to be like that, yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna call that a success. I really am. I'm not even, I'm just, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm actually gonna let it cool down for a while before I go scraping it off. So, when I did my unboxing, I came across this thing and I said it wasn't on any list that I'd ever seen before, and I popped up freebie. So it is, of course, your spatula for removing things. I'm not going to do that yet because I'm going to let it cool off a bit. But if this thing doesn't actually... I don't even know. Was I recording any of that? Alright, I got my little CME CNC thing started underneath the model. You can hear it wanting to pop off. I really hope that's it, just wanting to pop off and not like the glass breaking or anything. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, it's free. And I'm back. I ran out of space on my phone, so I had to go transfer all the files to my computer. And now I'm down to 50% battery power, so I'm gonna have to be quick. So there it is. I just popped it off. I haven't touched it yet. I wanted to do this on the video. So there it is. Look at that. Oh, isn't it pretty? Yes, yes it is. So that's interesting though. I wonder what that is. So right there, where's my focus? Okay, so am I pointing at the right thing now? So right there, and the same on the other side. I don't think that's an error, a print error, because it's perfectly symmetrical. No, it ain't. It isn't perfectly. Yeah, it is. It's in exactly the same place. So let's have a look at the sticky bottom. Wow, that glue is definitely sticky. It's still there. So I'm going to wash that. It looks good, eh? I can't get focus. I'm so sorry. Shiny. Perfect. I mean, you know what? Am I bold to say that? There's like tiny little null errors. One there, one there, one there. I don't know. It's, you hear that? I was kind of expecting smoother, maybe? You know, a smoother finish on those? Trying to get a focus on the bottom of the bridge. So, moving on. The next step is to take my little fan here. This is the 40mm fan that it comes in the kit. No, 25mm fan. 25? Ah, whatever. And it just pops right in here. Might need a little bit of sanding on the edges of the fan, he says in the manual, to get it to fit properly. Maybe more than a little. So I'll mess with that. I have my connectors here, males and females, up here on the wires. I'm actually going to do one fan with a male here and a female up there, and the other fan with a female down here and the male up there. That way, if I ever take them out and put them back, I know they're always just going to clip back into the same ones and I never have to make a mistake. So this then ends up inside here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stuff that in, and then I'm going to cut the wires, and we'll be back when I start the installation up there. But yeah, I'm very happy. This is an awesome print. I'm going to go admire it. Bye now. Okay, that was just really easy. I ran some files over and around and through this, knocked off a bunch of burrs, ran some sandpaper over the top and bottom. Again, just knocked off some burrs, and they did. You know, that's really all they were. They were just burrs, really. So I just knocked them right off, smoothed those other edges up, ran a file up and down the insides of all the insides of this, just made them smooth. Like I said, knocked the burrs off, and then this fan just pressed right in there, exactly like I would have hoped it would. Let's see if it works. So I'm going to have to plug that in and see what it does. How do we do this next step? So yeah, the next step is just to start mounting things in and getting them all working. But that went in very well, so just going to fine tune it. So again, another very simple step. Now, if you're watching this before you've built one, when you put in your hot end, make sure that you line up your heating resistors so they're on, plan ahead. You want to be on each side, just like mine were. So I didn't have to loosen this and turn the hot end to get these connectors to line up to be on the side. They were just right there. So I just loosened these off a little bit, and then this thing just pushed right in, just popped right in, just popped right in. Now the instructions do say take the whole damn hot end off, but I don't actually see a purpose to that because these are easy enough to do this way, and you don't have a lot of slack here, so it just seemed easier to do it this way. So I've got my connector on there. So now I'm just going to snug these back up, and then there's a test we can run. All right, everything's in there, tight off. Well, no, sorry, not tied off yet. I was going to wait until I've run some tests and whatnot. So the test is just basically what you see here. The peak fan, virtually linked to the hot end. You should be able to see the fan running as soon as you start heating the hot end. Okay, so let's turn the beast on. And let's connect to it. Okay, connected. Advanced controls. Controls. Extruder. Preheat. Let's see if I can get my camera over here. How's it? No, that's my hand. Okay, I'm going to hit preheat. Did it start? Yeah, it's running. Excellent. It's running. I can tell because when I touch it. And you can hear it spinning up. Okay, peak fan in and working. I hope it's actually doing something. I mean, you really can't tell, can you? Okay, I'm going to turn it off now. And now I got to rerun the PID routine. Just about done. So I just kicked off the PID tuning process. I've gone back to using Repetier host. I'm probably going to continue with this for a while. So it says that the fan will run while the machine is on, even though it may not be heating the hot end. As long as the hot end is above 50 degrees, it'll be running. So when it's cooling off, it'll stay running until it's 50. And sure enough, as soon as it dropped down to 49.9, that fan had turned off. So now I started the PID auto tuning process again. And as soon as I hit the start button, I could hear that fan kick in. So I know it's working. That tiny little thing has got to be pushing at least a couple of cubic centimeters of air more than would be if there was no fan on there. Okay, the time is exactly 8:10, and I've been running this since, why does that say 9 o'clock? Well, so that's a bit ahead. So let's see how long this PID tuning takes. They claim it takes an hour, and that we should be using Dead Zone or whatever it's called instead, but I don't know. I'm going to go with this for a while and see what happens. Okay, let the tuning commence. Let's get a look at that peak fan in action. Oh, that's just bright, eh? There. You can hear it running. Excuse me, I get the hiccups all of a sudden, darn it. That looks like a good color angle right there. Got too much light now, eh? Perfect. It looks so good. Well, I'm done. I've run this auto-tuning program several times now, and I'm really not going to get any better than that. The manual shows nice flat lines, but I've got this big variance every time I run it. Now, I was able to thin it out right a bit. You see, the last one seemed to be pretty good. But, you know, I don't know. There's not really much change between any of them. So, I suspect that because earlier, when I was searching for that earlier screw up I did, before my last screw up, and I accidentally pulled out that thermistor, put it back in, I suspect that might be why. Anyways, I'm done. Test print 1 is successful. It's installed. The fan is blowing. Connector's on. I'm so happy. Next episode will be the layer fan, and that will be the last episode of the actual build itself, because that's the last piece to build and install. After I've done that, I'm going to go through the Make Magazine 3D printing calibration models that they've recently released and talked about. And I'm going to use all of that, and I'm going to keep with the purple PLA through all of these next steps, and then I'm going to switch to, or purple ABS, and then I'm going to switch to some red PLA and do the calibration cubes again, and then I'm going to start printing. So thank you for watching and sticking around for this rather long video, but it's been cool, man. It's been cool. Bye now.